Up your game and celebrate things done well with the great taste of Original 16, official beer of the Calgary Flames. All right, and welcome to it. It is our Flames TV Live postgame show. It's brought to you by Original 16. Brendan Parker alongside Ryan Dittrick tonight, and have to correct it because it is the afternoon game to finish off the 4-game homestand. And boy, we had some fireworks late in this hockey game, and probably a little later to finish than the Calgary Flames would have liked, but they find a way to get it done, and it goes all the way to the shootout to do it. 4-3 the final here this afternoon as they knock off the Minnesota Wild. We're in position A going into the third period, and really throughout that period, Minnesota clawed back in, but this team somehow, some way, always finds ways to get it done, and they did it again this afternoon. How did you see it?
Never dull, right? It's pretty spectacular the way this team can find a way to get things done, even when they're thrown a bit of a curveball and maybe some added adversity late in a hockey game. But and you said a lot of excitement here. I thought really for 55 minutes this was a dominant performance really from the Calgary Flames here tonight. Really, really solid all the way around. Didn't give up very much at 5-on-5 especially too, and that for a really talented offensive team like the Minnesota Wild this season, to snuff them out and take them out of the game outside of a couple of power play chances was really impressive. But you know, you said it, those final 5 minutes, things started to turn a little bit. They get a power play goal of their own, things start to change, and we could start to sense that there was a bit of a momentum swing that might have been tough for this team to come back from. But that's the thing about the Flames this season. Even when they're handed a situation like that, you're thinking maybe as a fan, how are they going to bounce back from something like this? They find a way, just like they have all year.
Well, and it's interesting because, you know, I think about the midway mark, maybe a little past. We were just talking about how, you know, you got a 2-goal lead. And this team's been stingy all season long, but they were controlling. I mean, a lot of that third period spent in the offensive zone, and then yet it was, you know, just the little one sliver that Minnesota needed to kind of find a little spark and keep it going.
For sure, and that's the best way to defend in this league, right? And we saw with the Flames, they went up 3-1 late in that third period. You're starting to think that, you know, okay, now it's about protecting the lead. It wasn't so much about that, though. They kept pressing, and this guy here was a big part of that. Their lines had some great shifts that really started to tilt the ice back in the favor.
Well said. Welcome in, Kevin Rooney.
Sorry I didn't come shirtless.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a standard reset around here.
Well, it won't be coming from us, so it's going to have to come from the guest chair, I can tell you that much. Welcome to it. Boy, this entertaining hockey game. Obviously a little later in terms of when you got that final across the finish line, probably than you wanted. But how would you describe just the emotions of a third period that they push back and you guys find a way to get it done? Yeah,
I thought we came out really strong in the third period, and we were kind of giving them nothing. And then, you know, unfortunately, I take a penalty there, and you know, the guys were able to bail me out in the shootout. But I thought it was a really good third period, other than, you know, the penalty, and then they got a kind of a bounce there with the goalie pulled, and were able to score. So we stuck with it and won in the shootout, and, you know, credit to the guys there for doing that.
How about for you tonight, Kevin? You get on the score sheet, obviously, but it felt like you could have had a couple more the way you and your line was buzzing tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's really been coming with our line. You know, we don't always get rewarded on the score sheet, so it's nice to get one and be rewarded for our effort. And but for us, it's always about the process and continuing to do things the right way. And it was nice to be able to get on the score sheet tonight.
Just taking a look at it right there. Getting right to the eyes of Philip Gustafson and taking away, and then got a little piece of it with the tip right off the toe, it looked like.
Yeah.
Well, maybe just, you know, because it seemed like, you know, we were just talking about that third period, and, you know, you guys have been super stingy, we know that, but it seemed like that third period, at the start of it, it was like that 2-goal lead wasn't enough. Like we were pushing and just seeing kind of playing in the offensive zone as much as possible there.
Yeah, definitely. I know we give up too late there, but I don't think that tells the whole story. I thought we had a really good you know, effort in the third, and like I said, tough penalty by me there, and then they were able to get one that kind of, you know, saw its way through, and then, you know, just a tough bounce at the end. But I really liked the way we came out in the third and took it to him. I think we hit a post when it was 3-1, so we could have put it away then. So credit to the guys for sticking with it against a real tough team.
Sure. You know, it really feels like, and we see the confidence growing with this group. There's a bit of moxie with you guys too. We heard it the other day, Mackenzie Weegar saying that you guys have developed an identity, and Dan Vladar had a bit of a famous quote yesterday about you guys being hungry. But we saw it over the course of, not just tonight, but over the course of this homestand. Do you guys sense that something's building that's kind of special here?
Yeah, for sure. And even before the homestand, I think a lot of guys have felt comfortable at the Saddle Dome this year. Our fans have been engaged. We've given them something to cheer about this year, and that's you know, kind of trickled down to the players. And we've really loved playing at the Saddle Dome this year. And yeah, it's just I think Naz said it too. Like, we got to continue to build around that identity that we have, because we know if we're going to be a playoff team, we're going to continue to need to work on things and get better offensively. And I think the defensive game, we have a good foundation and good identity to play at home right now.
It's been fun to watch. Heck of a homestand. May as well take this on the road, I guess, eh?
Yeah, definitely. Now we got to be road warriors.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff.
Awesome.
Congrats on the win, and enjoy the Saturday, another rare Saturday night off, I guess. You get the afternoon game and Saturday night off in the snow.
Yeah, we need more of these.
I agree. We don't want to get any arguments on this side of the table. Good stuff. I appreciate
thanks
it.
for having me on, guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate
enjoy
it.
the night. There's Kevin Rooney. He had a huge goal, obviously, early in this hockey game. Had a couple of looks late as well, and part of a big Calgary Flames victory. And full credit to Kevin too. Mentioned the penalty. Obviously, they score on that power play, but does not take away from anything on what we saw. And let's go through it as we saw it go down at the Saddle Dome here this afternoon. And as we mentioned, it does start with the man that joined us here live on the desk, Kevin Rooney, and he gets his second of the season. And he talked a little bit about just some of the work that fourth line, their line, has been doing, and finally gets rewarded here.
For sure, and it's nothing special with these guys. This is fundamental hockey. Just get the puck on the cycle, win puck battles, and you create seams for yourself by positions, right? And that's great work by Kevin Rooney to recognize he needs to get inside on Joel Eriksson Ek. That allows him that opportunity to get the tip, but in the process, you also need to take away the eyes of the goaltender. It all comes back to fundamentals for this group, and they're doing it to a T right now.
So Rooney's got 2 on the year. Miramanov and Kirkland pick up the helpers on that one, but it didn't last long. Minnesota answers pretty quickly thereafter, and it's a 2-on-1. Marcus Johansson, or Mojo apparently, scores on the backdoor one-timer.
Yeah, famous nickname. And this is definitely one of the only ways that Minnesota was really able to get some high quality early in this game. Tough turnover, as you noted. And on that one-timer, I actually think Dan Vladar played that quite well. But the shot kind of comes across the grain. Yeah. As a goaltender, you're never expecting it to be going there, so kind of a tough break, too.
Yeah, hits him in the chest and ends up deflecting in, but Vladar does nice just to get across on that 2-on-1. 1-1 after one, and then here in the second period, the power play strikes for a third consecutive game. Nazem Kadri with a beautiful one-touch to Martin Pospisil.
That is some high-skill stuff, and you know what? It's not just on the offensive side, it's on the defensive side too. This is 15 seconds earlier. Rasmus Andersson breaking up the shorthanded 2-on-1. That puts it back the other way. 15 seconds, that's all that this power play needs nowadays. Quick puck movement, and as you noted, that's an elite one-touch pass from Nazem Kadri. And for a guy like Martin Pospisil, he needed that in a big way.
Yeah, huge for Martin Pospisil. He's got 2 now on the year and up to 7 points. More importantly, that power play marker gave him some momentum with 30 seconds left in the second. They carry it into the third, and it strikes again. A second power play marker, and this one was a beauty.
You know what I love about this, Brendan, too? Yegor Sharangovich starting to find his offensive confidence, but we're kind of used to seeing him on the right flank on this power play. We saw it again tonight, but I like this. Top of the slot, switch up the looks, try to keep the penalty killers guessing, and you know what? It's working.
Nice touch there from Connor Zary, too, to just slide that thing into the middle. 4 on the year for Sharangovich, and a 3-1 lead, and then here's where things shifted late in this hockey game. It had been all Flames to this point, and then the power play marker that was through some traffic, it looked like it went in untouched. Brock Faber gets credit for his third of the season.
Yeah, you said it, untouched here. And speaking, we talked about Kevin Rooney earlier on about taking away the goalie's eyes. It's the same situation here. This is a fantastic screen in front. We were watching this live, and we saw Joel Eriksson kind of lift the leg at the last second. Not much Dan Vladar can do on a play like that.
No, and if you look, the reverse angle shows too a little high screen as well, so he's kind of looking through layers, and obviously that makes it 3-2. And now with the net empty, Minnesota, you can kind of feel a little bit of that shift take place, and they get the game equalizing goal right here in front, and a beautiful finish there from Rossi goes between the legs.
And a couple of tough bounces here for the Flames. They're trying to just, under duress clearly, but the puck's bouncing on him. They never really could get a clean handle, and Marco Rossi just kind of finds himself disappearing behind coverage, and he makes a good finish. Yeah,
he sure does, and ends up beating Vladar, which would move us to overtime and eventually the shootout. And it's Justin Kirkland that has the opportunity here to strike, and does so just to keep the Flames in it, who had been down a goal at that point. So now we move into the 4th and eventually 5th rounds. Rasmus Andersson scores, and this thing is labeled along the ice. It was absolutely perfect, and there's Ryan Huska pulling all the right strings. They get the stop late, and it is the Calgary Flames that win it 4-3 the final. And let's go and hear some reaction now following the 4-3 win. We just saw Rasmus Andersson. He gets the shootout winner. Let's hear from Andersson now inside the Flames room.
Well, how would you summarize the way your group has gone? If you look at the home record, it's pretty impressive, Rasmus, but just the idea of finishing it off the way you wanted before you head out.
Yeah, obviously we probably should have finished it off in regulation, but that happens sometimes, and it's a skilled group over there who's, got a lot of confidence right now, and but yeah, bounce back and still end up winning the game, even though it's in shootout. And hey, buddy, you want to come up? Oh, and yeah, hey, buddy, so are you gonna say hi? Say hi to Mike's. No, but yeah, even though end up winning it in shootout, you get big. Winning it in shootout, which is really nice. Yeah.
You guys are comfortable in those close games. We've talked about that. And you're comfortable in overtime and in a shootout. I mean, that really says something too, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it gives us a lot of confidence, right? We're in them every night, and and as I said, we should have probably won in regulation, but it is the way it is, and we still end up getting 2 points. But yeah, we're pretty comfortable in the close games, and end up getting another one, and really good homestand here.
What's now that it seems to be working? You guys have scored power play goals, I think, 4 in the past 3 games. What's going well for that?
I think we're just moving the puck well, and while we have shooting opportunities, we shoot, and we're trying to work the puck back as quickly as possible after we shoot it, and yeah, we've scored 3 goals in 2 games now, and so yeah, it's a good feeling, and now we just gotta keep it going, right? That's the tough part, to keep it going.
We always hear when the goals aren't coming, whether it's for an individual player or a power play, we just need to get that one. Sort of amazing how quickly it can turn, eh?
For who?
Just for the power play unit.
Oh yeah. I mean, we switched it up a little bit, right? And I think we're just simplifying when we switch it up and not get too pretty. And so yeah, just keep it going now, honestly.
So we know the rules. Is it no stare down after a shootout goal?
If we won after my shootout, probably be a stare down. A couple people lined up, and but we still needed a save though, eh?
Did you have a pre-scout? You knew where they were?
Yeah, I know where they're at.
Yeah.
I know where they're at. Islanders was tough, but I saw a few ones today. Mommy's not here. You want to go down? Daddy's done. Tell him all done. Tell him all done. Yeah, all done.
Oh, that's outstanding, and that is the benefit right there of an afternoon game. You get the little guys and the little girls here in attendance too. Yeah. This rink was packed full of kids. It brings a little youthful enthusiasm to the building that you could feel. They had the walkout tunnel with all the minor hockey kids.
Fantastic.
Hard not to get charged up heading onto the ice after that.
That's usually how I acknowledge you when you ask me questions. As
All
we're getting
done?
set for the show, just head nods. Nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
Silence otherwise.
Silence, yeah. All done. Great appearance there from Benjamin Anderson. Love that. He did some good work. So too did his dad. And let's talk a little bit about the goaltender, because I think obviously an afternoon game, we assumed, or at least that was kind of maybe the head nod that Ryan Huska gave us yesterday. But Dan Vladar gets to start, his first since November the 12th. So nice little run for Dustin Wolf. But Vladdy gets in, and tough spot, afternoon game, second best team in the NHL. What did you make of the work from number 80 tonight?
Well, it was excellent, and you said it. Not necessarily easy, because you're going on almost 2 weeks between starts. But for Dan Vladar, you don't want to put too much into one game. But you got the sense that this was kind of a big one for him. Dustin Wolf has been rolling, and had earned his spot in the net. Mixes in a shutout in there, that never hurts. But Vladar never really quote unquote lost the net. He's played quite well this season, a 9.06 coming into the night. So you could sense a little bit of fire, and we saw it yesterday in the practice interviews. But early in this hockey game, he was excellent, and this is really the only thing that we saw from Minnesota in the first 55 minutes was in that front half of the first period. And Dan Vladar stood tall, top of his crease. You're seeing it there, tracking the pucks exceptionally well. And for a guy that needed to prove something tonight, I don't think there was anything left to question.
Challenging from that standpoint too, because there was some big lulls without much action going on in front of you, and handled it really well, and obviously gets the victory, which is the part that he'll care about the most. Let's hear now from Dan Vladar following the win.
Surika.
Hi.
What did you think of the way Dad played today?
Like since morale, good or bad?
Good.
There you go. That's all I need. Well, I mean, the guys played really good in front of me, so I didn't have a lot of shots. So those afternoon games are tough to get into, especially when you don't have a lot of shots. But you know, I owe guys a big one after those two late ones. So I'm happy we got a W finally, or I did finally.
What did you see on the tying goal?
Well, I thought he was gonna go backhand, but he didn't, and he just put a 5-hole. But you know, I should have just had a better patience and wait for him. It's on me for sure.
How hard is that on the emotions to kind of go from that to then staring down, even with the game on the line in that third shooter?
Well, that's the we talk about a mentality all the time that we have here, and you know, we are used to being down after second periods or during the game, so nothing was changing right there for me. But you know, obviously it was emotional for me. I didn't win since Jersey, so I really wanted to finally grab the W, and then you know, you kind of get knocked down on your back with those 30 seconds left. But I'm happy with the group. The overtime guys did an awesome job, and you know, we could have scored there, but we said it for shootout. So thanks, Ras, and thanks, Kirky.
Have you seen that Kirkland shootout move in practice, and if so, what makes it so effective?
Well, he's really good at it, and I'm not gonna say anything else because the other goalies might hear it. So let's just keep it like that. Yep.
What about from your end on the shootout? It's been, I think, in your career, your win-loss record in shootout probably isn't where you'd want it. What have you done to maybe work on that?
Well, even in practices, I feel very comfortable with shootouts, but you know, just in games, it wasn't going my way, and I don't know if the guys are just having a good pre-scout on me or something. I really have no idea, but I'm super confident with these shootouts, and I actually enjoy them. But finally, hopefully, I'm never gonna go to shootout again. But if you do, I'm gonna keep doing the same thing. And as I said, I owe those guys, and I'm happy that we got the W for sure.
Dan, what does it mean to this group to go 8 for 8 points on this homestand?
It means a lot, but you know, we started off really well too. Then we kind of set back. So it's still fresh. It's in our head. So the leaders are doing an awesome job preparing us. Coaches are doing a really good job as well. So you know, we just don't want to let happen what happened to us after those you know, 6 games or I don't know, at the beginning. So we just gotta keep working, and a huge road trip in front of us.
Certainly the belief has always been in this room, but the idea now, as we sit right now and look at the standings, you guys are tops in the division. What does that mean? I know it's November, but just the idea of the outside noise with the belief inside.
Well, we don't let it affect anyone in here. You know, we saw what was said before the season and what everybody thought about our group. But as I said yesterday, hungry bastards since the day one. So we just gotta keep doing. Thank you, guys.
Cheers to another season of great times and great taste. Celebrate things done well. Original 16, official beer sponsor of the Calgary Flames. Must be legal drinking age.
All right, and welcome back inside Flames Postgame Live, brought to you by Original 16. And, well, he said it. I feel like Dan Vladar said it. Then we get a green light, because that might become the tagline.
You can say it. I'm not going to say it. You say it. There's no we in this discussion, is
maybe
it?
I'll just write it down. You heard Dan say it. I don't. Well, there's a little bit of a gray area there on whether
they're hungry. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
a
hungry group of hockey players that starts with a B. Great stuff though from Dan. I love that he doubled down and hit it for the second straight day. That might be the new tagline for this team. And then if it becomes a thing and a tagline, then let's if we get a T-shirt, then maybe we'll start saying it.
All right. Then and only then.
Then and only then. Welcome back inside. It is a 4-3 shootout victory for the Calgary Flames. They sweep this 4-game homestand, pick up 8 of a possible 8 points. You can't get any better than that, folks. And now we get an opportunity to hear from the head coach. Here's Ryan Huskett now following the victory.
How'd that win from your perspective?
I liked a lot of our game. The part that I didn't like probably was the last 7 or 8 minutes, where I felt for the first time this year that we sat back a little bit and let them come at us. So lesson for us, we can make sure we're better in that situation next time. But other than that, I liked our game.
Thoughts on Dan Vladar's play, getting back in there for the first time in a bit?
Yeah, I thought he played well. Again, he didn't have a ton of work tonight, but he made some saves that kind of, I felt, kept the momentum on our side at times. And then when we needed the saves the most, he made them tonight. And to me, that's what matters.
What does Martin Pospisil, what can him scoring that goal do for him?
I think when Marty is skating and physical, the offense kind of follows him. So I think if he really focuses on how he has to play every night, he's going to find goals like that, especially in his spot on the power play. He's one guy that we know is always going to go to the net. He's going to always try to get in the goaltender's eyes a lot, but if he can get a little bit of a rhythm with the guys on the outsides on the power play, those are the types of goals that he can score because he has that skill set.
Have you seen a turn in his game, maybe on this homestand especially?
I think so. There's been more stretches where you've noticed him for sure, and I think that goes back to, he's in his normal position now at the NHL level, where he's not trying to learn a new position in a hard league on the fly.
Obviously, like the results on the power play speak for themselves, but it does feel like he's got the Rasmus Andersson goal a couple nights ago, and gates have opened a little bit. Was it a matter of practicing it? I mean, what?
No, we practice it every day from the beginning of the year. So
I'm just curious what might have been the catalyst.
Yeah, I think they've switching the units up, I think, a little bit. We tried to put some different people on both units so we can create a little bit of competition there. So if somebody goes and scores, they're going to go out and go again. And a lot of those players, they want to be on the ice for the minute and a half to start a power play. So I think that competition's been good. But I also think they've just done a much better job of moving the puck quickly, and they're not overcomplicating right now. They're just fast with their puck moving, and they're putting pucks to the net as well.
Sharangovich scores on the power play again, this time from that bumper position. Do you like the idea that he can kind of have that from a couple different spots for you?
I think the best power plays, they're all fluid. People are all over the place at different times. So if he sets himself up on the flank and he's shooting the one-timer, if he moves himself into the bumper, or at times he's going to be at the net as well. I like that he's a threat to shoot. That's what I'd like to see him continue to do, that he always wants the puck. And when he does get it, the last few goals he scored on the power play, it's on and off his stick. And that's when I feel like he's at his best.
He had 11 shot attempts and 7 on net, so that's kind of exactly what you're looking for out of him.
Totally. He gets around it, and he's a threat to score every time he has the puck when he's in a stretch like that.
I go back then about sort of the confidence in the way you guys are playing in the system and the way you have to play.
Yeah.
And he did say that sort of getting kicked in the teeth a little bit by Utah and Vegas, those 2 games, showed what happens when you don't. Do you feel like that was a little bit of, there could be positives from that experience?
Yeah, that road trip, I think, like we had success early on in the year. I think we surprised a lot of teams, maybe surprised ourselves a little bit. And that road trip, we kind of got away with what gave us success. So they're smart guys. I think they realize after a little bit that, hey, this does work for us, and that's kind of what we're all about. So now when you have success, it makes it so much easier for them to say, yeah, this is it, so let's continue to do that. And I mentioned before, it's guys like Michael, it's guys like Cads and Blake, Jonathan, Uyghur, and Andy on the back end. They are the guys that are driving the bus on that one.
What's been working so well at home? Obviously, you guys swept the homestand, but what led to that? What fueled the sweep?
I think we're not hurting ourselves. I think we're playing a much smarter brand of hockey, that we're not creating too many unnecessary opportunities for the opponent, and I think the building has been really good. And I think at times when we have been a little bit flat, there's been some great energy in the building. Whether it's the beer drinking that's going on, I'm not sure, but they've had some really good energy over the last little while, and I think our players have fed off that.
Have you seen Justin Kirkland use a second shootout move in practice, or is that one just so tested and true with it?
No, he's got more. Yeah, that's the one thing that he's. I'll just leave it at that. He's got more. Yeah.
All good.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, some good stuff there from the head coach, Ryan Huska, and a smile. And I think that's where we should pick up the conversation, just because, he talked about what's fueled this homestand. And obviously, we were just talking about it's now 15 games they haven't scored because it's a shootout win. Doesn't count as a 4th goal scored.
Right.
But it's a 15th straight game. They haven't scored more than 3 goals in a game, and yet they have points in 8 of their last 9 and a 4-game win streak.
You don't do that by accident. Like, everything has to be complete in your game in order to get there. And we've talked tonight, especially the first 55 minutes of the game, how little they were giving up. So defensively, they've been solid. That typically means that you're pushing the pace offensively, which we've seen that too. Maybe it hasn't gotten the payoff that you would expect to see, but that's kind of what you're going to expect from this team this year. They're not loaded with firepower, so you've got to stay committed to the game to generate your offense. And then on the other side of things, the goaltending has been spectacular. The Flames continue to be one of, if not the best, we'll have to see the updated numbers, teams in the NHL when it comes to 5-on-5 save percentage. And that tells the story tonight. It was Minnesota's power play that got them going again. So, everything, like we said, we use the word complete. Everything really seems to be flowing for this team right now, and you're not going to be able to continue to win this way unless everybody's bought into the system, which they are.
Small thing, and I think we have the footage of this. We'll cue it up, but just after Minnesota's tied the game late, they score obviously the power play goal, and then they score the 6-on-5 goal. It's 3-3 going to overtime, and there was a shot of the bench. And, you think that maybe the momentum's kind of sucked away a little bit. The energy's down a little bit. But you look toward the Flames bench, and we had this one shot of Ryan Lomberg, who always brings the energy. And look at the look on his face just along the bench where he's pumping up his guys, big smile on his face. You wouldn't notice the difference between, there it is. Like, we still got time. We're fine. Let's go. This is overtime. Love that just because – it's a moment where obviously there'd be some frustration. Didn't want to get it to overtime, but that's just what he does.
It is, and Ryan Lomberg's never had a bad day for sure. Yeah. I think I'd like to subscribe to whatever he's reading up on these days. But for him, I think that's who he is. We've gotten to know him over the course of the first quarter of the season so far as being that guy. Yeah. But in that moment, especially, like you said, there was a bit of a sag in their game after giving up those 2 quick goals, but there's no reason to feel down on yourself. You've already bagged that 1 point. There's an opportunity to get the second. That's what he's communicating to his guys.
And that's what they did. It took a little bit longer. It didn't happen in the overtime. It happened in the shootout. Rasmus Andersson gets the game winner, and the Calgary Flames have made it 4 consecutive wins, 5 straight on home ice, and they do it by knocking off the number 2 team in the National Hockey League entering play today, the Minnesota Wild. They gave up a couple of those late in the third, but found a way to get it done in the shootout. And Dan Vladar gets back in the net, and they keep on winning. It doesn't matter who's in net. They get sensational goaltending, and they'll carry it out on the road. As Kevin Rooney told us, it's time to be road warriors. That starts on Monday night against the Ottawa Senators, another prime game as they kick off a 4-game road trip. We'll see you back here at the Scotiabank Saddledome on December 3rd. We're already going to turn the calendar as the Flames welcome the Columbus Blue Jackets here at the Scotiabank Saddledome. As for tonight, 4-3 win, a sweep of the 4-game homestand. Doesn't get any better than that. The Flames are now off on the road. Thanks for watching Flames Postgame Live, brought to you by Original 16. We'll see you on December 3rd.